Okay, let's jump in. Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. We're taking the source material you've shared with us and really trying to boil it down to the essentials.
That's right.
Today, we're looking at excerpts about one specific day, June 15th, 2025.
Mm.
And the focus is squarely on the reported events in the Israel-Iran conflict as presented in these documents.
Yeah, our goal is just to help you quickly sort through what these particular reports said happened.
Think of it like we're looking over this information together, trying to see what these sources flagged as important for that day.
And right away, these sources established something pretty clearly. June 15th, 2025. That was day 3.
Day 3.
The third straight day of heavy fire between Israel and Iran. The reports are very specific about that continuity.
And they set the scene, don't they? Mentioning Israel and Iran as longtime foes.
Exactly. The material uses that phrase, longtime foes. It feels like context, you know, underscoring the history behind what's being reported.
Right, that context is helpful. And then the sources dig into the actual reported actions for the 15th.
Yeah.
And one thing that really jumps out reading these reports is the mention of Iranian missiles flying over Tel Aviv.
Yeah, that definitely catches the eye.
That sounds, well, pretty intense based on how the material describes it.
It does. And the sources are specific. This wasn't just like a stray shot. They call it part of a fresh barrage of Iranian rockets.
A fresh barrage. So sustained attacks, according to these reports.
Apparently so, yeah. And the missiles over Tel Aviv were sort of a standout event within that barrage based on the text.
And the consequences, the sources talk about those too.
They do. They specifically mention mounting casualties.
Mounting casualties. That paints a pretty stark picture of the human costs reported for that day.
It really does. And there's another phrase the sources use right alongside that.
Which is?
Expanding targets.
Ah, okay. So mounting casualties and expanding targets. What do the reports seem to imply by that pairing?
Well, looking at the material, it suggests the conflict wasn't just continuing, it was possibly spreading.
Spreading geographically. Or maybe different types of targets.
The reports aren't super detailed on the how, but expanding targets definitely implies the scope was widening somehow on that day. It wasn't just more of the same location-wise, according to these sources.
Okay, so let's recap where we are based on these reports. Third day of heavy fire.
Right.
Specific major incidents reported, like missiles over Tel Aviv.
Part of that fresh barrage, yeah.
And this broader picture of mounting casualties and these expanding targets. How did the sources, the ones we have here, sum up the overall meaning of June 15th?
They put a label on it. Based on all those factors, the duration, the reported casualties, and especially that idea of expanding targets, the sources call it a sharp escalation in hostilities.
Sharp escalation, that's the term they use.
Explicitly, yes.
Yeah.
That phrase appears in the reports to characterize the events of that third day. It's pretty clear the sources saw June 15th as a serious turning point, a worsening.
And just to be crystal clear for everyone listening, we're only talking about what's in these specific source documents, right? We're just distilling their account.
Absolutely. No outside info, no taking sides, just reporting on what this material says.
Okay.
So yeah, pulling it together from the source material you shared for June 15th, 2025, the reports flag it as day 3 of intense fire between these longtime foes.
Featuring that fresh barrage of rockets, including those reportedly over Tel Aviv.
And the sources connect this to rising casualties and, significantly, those expanding targets.
And all of that together, the sustained fighting, the human toll, the widening scope, leads these sources to label the day a sharp escalation.
Precisely.
So here's something to think about, sticking purely to what these sources report. They mention expanding targets and mounting casualties as part of this sharp escalation on day 3. What might that specific framing, that link between expanding scope and human cost, suggest about the kind of escalation the sources perceived just based on their own words?
It definitely gives you pause thinking about the trajectory implied by those specific reported details.
It does. Well, thanks for diving into these reports with us today.
My pleasure.
We hope this helped you get a clearer picture of the key developments reported for June 15, 2025, straight from the source material provided.